Good evening, I'm Haley Vilgas.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Our top story, millions of Texans in the middle of a water catastrophe in and around Houston.
Floodwaters are rising, more rain is falling, and rescue operations continue there. They have been for the last several days. ABC's Lana Zach is live in Houston tonight to show us the conditions there right now. Lana, what's the latest?
Good evening. Rescues continue to happen by air and by water. So many people still in need of help. The mayor says that is the most pressing, urgent need at the moment, to get people away from those rising floodwaters. And as the sun begins to set here in Houston, it is for many people a race against time.
America's fourth largest city is underwater. More rain to come, 4 feet of rain predicted in some areas. People standing on top of submerged mailboxes. This interstate in Houston now a river. This is Hobby Airport before Harvey and now. The catastrophe about to get worse. The Army Corps of Engineers now releasing water from dams that are filling up too fast. People living downriver told to evacuate. The Texas governor activating the entire National Guard, ordering 9,000 more troops to assist the 3,000 already on the ground. Rescue operations continuing around the clock. Hundreds of rescuers in boats, helicopters, and trucks saving animals and people from rising floodwaters.
And around 6 a.m., something fell off one of the nightstands, woke us up, and water was coming in fast.
Shelters filling up rapidly.
More than 2,900 people seeking refuge at the George Brown Convention Center and receiving some cheer from Batman and his son.
When the city needs a hero, I mean, we got to be here. We got to help this city.
And more continue to come. Evacuees showing up at hotels only to find that there are no more rooms.
If this hotel will just give us a room. I think they have convention people coming in with reservations.
Meanwhile, some try to take advantage of the terrible situation, preying on abandoned homes and businesses. One shop owner asking for help, posting this image from his security camera of looters going unpunished.
And we continue to see hundreds of people just pouring in here. This is the single largest operating shelter for all the victims of Harvey, operating right here in Houston. And the Red Cross set out 2,000 beds earlier. Those were all quickly claimed. They are expecting more cots, and they say that they are hopeful that everyone here at least will have a cot to sleep on tonight. Reporting live from Houston, Lana Zach, ABC News. Back to you.
Thank you, Lana. And of course, we've been dealing with a lot here as well as far as flooding and strong storms. We're going to head over to get the first alert weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks. Yeah, families being evacuated here along the Sun Coast. A pretty big story as a result of the heavy rainfall that continues to move into the Sun Coast. We've had flood warnings. We're under a flood warning right now over South Sarasota County, meaning flooding is taking place, and we have a flood advisory for all the barrier islands. In reality, no one should be out there driving right now, especially along the western portions of Manatee and Sarasota counties. Some areas have had up to 16 inches of rain. 16. That's more than a tropical storm or hurricane can dump sometimes. A lot of people want to know what's going on with that. Well, we don't have a hurricane, but we have the effects of a tropical system that's been hanging around for the past several days. And that 16 inches of rain has occurred over the last 3 days. Again, it could be up to 17 now at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. As far as the flood warning goes, that continues in this area in green that you see. So Osprey, Venice, all the way down into Inglewood over to Northport. There's flooding taking place. Roadways are being covered. The ground is just so saturated, so we get an inch or two of rainfall. It's going to cause flooding. Obviously, that rain nowhere to go. And you can see this area in light green all the way up Longboat Key into Anna Maria Island. That is, again, a flood advisory, meaning temporary flooding going on in some of the roadways there. That's in effect until 6:30 tonight. And the National Weather Service has now said that we are going to stay with the flood watch for Manatee and Sarasota counties up until tomorrow, late 8 o'clock. So there's still this trough of low pressure behind, laying behind as a result of that tropical system now that's developing off the coast of the Carolinas. As you can see, it doesn't take a meteorologist to say we're going to get more rainfall. It extends all the way out in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see another band of some heavy rainfall just developed in the last hour now over portions of Tampa Bay, spreading southward into Manatee County. This one area of rain produced up to 2 inches of rainfall that has now since moved on. And this one down in Venice, also 4 inches of rainfall just this afternoon. And that's the reason why the flood warning is in effect for Osprey southward into Northport. You can see that heavy rainfall again taking shape near Lakewood Ranch, pushing off to the east. There's a little break right now in Osprey and Venice, thankfully, but as I said, the flood watch continues now until 8 o'clock. What's going to happen eventually? Dry air will move in, but that won't happen until Wednesday, it looks like right now. And we're going to keep an eye on this line. This looks rather intense, which I said just developed in the last half hour. Light to moderate rainfall into western portions of Manatee County at this hour. Again, lessening somewhat down into South Sarasota, but you'll notice right here another large patch of some moderate to heavy rainfall developing. The atmosphere is very juiced up. I mentioned 4 inches already in Venice. Had about an inch near Siesta Key. Lesser amounts of Bayshore, but just that little bit of rainfall. I had a call from a viewer saying they saw some flooding taking place. The roadways were dry, and then all of a sudden just a little bit of rain caused the flooding concerns. Again, you can see this trough of low pressure extending from what is a tropical depression now, and as this moves away, it will take some of this moisture with it, but there's always this axis, if you will, a line of low pressure that kind of trails a tropical system, so we'll keep an eye on that. It's expected to get out of here by Tuesday. This is a very dangerous situation here along the Sun Coast, so keep that in mind. If you don't have to drive anywhere, I wouldn't do it at this point. We'll have much more on the tropics as well as Harvey coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. As he just mentioned, waist-high flooding forces an entire Manatee County neighborhood to evacuate, and tonight those homes remain underwater. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick has that story.
Emergency management officials here in Manatee County say the flooding at the Center Lake neighborhood behind me is the worst that they've seen. Dozens of families have been evacuated, and it may be days before they can get back inside of their homes. After nearly a foot of water floods into dozens of homes, fire crews were sent in to rescue more than 40 families in the Center Lake neighborhood.
They couldn't even just bring a regular fire truck through. It was waist high, so on the street. So they started getting us out one by one.
The evacuation was voluntary. Residents are now scattered throughout the Sun Coast, staying with family, friends, or at a nearby shelter.
The power is shut down for this area here, and we are going to recommend that it continues to be shut down until the water actually recedes out.
These pictures were taken inside of Steve Strickler's home before his family evacuated on Saturday. Monday, he went back to see just how bad the damage is.
The water has receded out of the house, but everything was floating, is now settled. The laminate flooring had lifted up and it's just scattered everywhere.
Residents are blaming the flooding on a newly constructed neighborhood next door.
They were elevated pretty high and causing a lot of their runoff to come into our area, which in 23 years, again, we've had tropical storms, and this has never happened.
We've had an extreme population growth in this area alone. With those developments, it just forces water to take different directions. Unfortunately, on this event, it forced it all to enter into this neighborhood here.
Emergency management officials estimate that once the last raindrop falls, it may take 72 to even 96 hours before this neighborhood dries up. Reporting in Manatee County, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Jess, thank you. And the flooding issues could be responsible for a Manatee County man's death. The Manatee County Sheriff's Office reporting a 61-year-old man was found face down in floodwaters along the street along 44th Court East in Bradenton. The man's wheelchair was found tipped over in the road. Rescue crews tried to revive him, but could not. The medical examiner's office will now determine the cause of death.
The rainy weather and wet roads may have contributed to a serious school bus accident in Venice today. The bus was en route to Venice High School when the driver drifted into a ditch on Venice Avenue. There were 3 special needs students on board. All were rescued. ABC7's Christopher Brantley is joining us live from Venice with more on what happened with this accident. Christopher.
Good evening. The Venice Police Department responded shortly after 7 a.m. this morning. Take a look at this cell phone video. It shows the bus had been driving eastbound on Venice Avenue when it somehow drifted into a ditch. The bus listed hard to the right, making it challenging to evacuate. 2 officers arrived quickly and were able to carry the 3 special needs students off the bus safely. The officers were surprised at just how deep the water was.
Several officers ended up getting fully submerged in the water when they tried to get in and carry several children out. But they're fine, no injuries, everything's good. All the children are fine. Bus driver and the bus aide, they're all good.
The school district tells us that bus was not damaged. It is actually back in rotation now. The cause of that incident is still under investigation. Now, while all of that was happening at the same time, just a short distance from there, here on the island of Venice, heavy rains were causing streets to flood, and as you can see, homeowners' yards have flooded. This couple's garage actually flooded. Their home was spared, but just barely. Gary Boroff just celebrated his 81st birthday last week. This week, he's raking debris away from storm drains to let them flow.
The drains would not take it away fast enough.
Boroff's backyard was a virtual pool, nearly a foot of standing water in some places. Even the garage flooded. Anything ruined in the garage that you know of?
Not that I know of. I know the Hart's Plumbing came over and they shut off our gas with the hot water heater.
Boroff spent much of the morning clearing away debris from the nearby storm drain. By doing that, he was finally able to drain much of the water.
My wife was getting more nervous than I, you know, but she was, you know, she was watching the front door.
She was nervous because this has happened to them before in the 45 years they lived here. In 1992, their home flooded, as did most of the island of Venice, in what is considered the 100-year flood. This time, while the waters were high, their home was spared. The Venice Fire Department drove around the island handing out sandbags to those residents that needed them.
It was all the way, almost halfway up our yard, and then all through our backyard, and a little bit got into the house.
Camille Klein came to get sandbags. She stopped on her way to help her neighbor, Christine Tislakis.
She was walking down in the rain with her hand cart, and I was waiting, and I picked her up, and we sat and waited for them to deliver the sand.
Then neighbor helped neighbor unload the sandbags and shore up the home. A reminder that in the face of a challenge, people do come together. And that was a resounding theme today. Just about anywhere you drove, you could see people out and about helping each other sandbag up their home, clear debris, and otherwise just dry out. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Christopher, thank you. Some other areas in Manatee County are also dealing with property damage today because of the flooding, including the Park Acres neighborhood. ABC7's Dwayne Lindo joins us now live to show us what they're dealing with tonight. Dwayne?
Well, guys, this bad weather wreaking havoc on homes here at the Park Acres neighborhood, also on Manatee County roads. Take a look at this video here. It's the intersection of Magellan Drive and 15th Street East. It had to be closed off due to a hole opening right on the road. And here at the Park Acres neighborhood in Manatee County, residents dealt with extensive flooding. Some residents saying they sustained the same amount of damage as they did last year during Hermine. For one resident, the new carpet put in after last year's storm is now ruined. Most of the furniture also had to be taken out because it was destroyed. To go through this the second time in as many years was just too much.
It's overwhelming, and there's like an unreality to it, and I'm sitting in there looking at carpet which is basically new, and it's all going to be gone again. So it's a hard thing to describe. I think last year I thought this is a one-off. Now I don't feel that anymore. Now I feel like this could happen again, and maybe again and again, and that's very disconcerting.
Now, Manatee County is stressing the importance of not driving through barricades or flooded roads. They're saying, obviously, take an alternative route or just look for a detour. Reporting live in Manatee County, Dwayne Lindo, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Dwayne. And with all of this rainfall, some roads and parks are closed due to flooding. In Manatee County, Prospect Road from 63rd Avenue to Whitfield Avenue is the only road in Manatee County that is still closed to traffic. But there are some other roads in southern parts of the county that are underwater and should be avoided. If you know of any damage and you want to report it to Manatee County, you can call the Citizens Action Center at 742-5800. And in Sarasota County, sandbags were handed out today and will be handed out again tomorrow. They will be available at 3 locations: Newtown Estates Park, Twin Lakes Park and South County Fleet facility. The bags will be handed out from 8 a.m. until 3 p.m. on Tuesday. As for road closures, University Parkway westbound from DeSoto to West University Parkway does have some flooding right now. Only one westbound lane is open. There are several parks and reserves closed, including Ted Sperling at South Lato, Venice Myakka River Park, North Jetty Bayside Parking Lot, Casperson Beach, and all South District athletic fields, along with many others.
Taking a look at how traffic is moving tonight in our first alert traffic report. Right now there's a crash in Manatee County. It's along State Road 70 right at 60th Street. It is slowing traffic, but it is improving from just a little while ago. Yellow showing up there in the map. Still to come on your Suncoast News tonight, paying more at the gas pump. How high prices are expected to climb this week because of Hurricane Harvey.
And Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast with an update on this rain. Plus, the Instagram diet, why more people are turning to social media sites to shed a few pounds. That's in Health Smart.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
Discover all the reasons the experts love Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru is the best overall brand for 2 years running and the most trusted brand for 3 years running, according to Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com. Right now, you can lease one of Subaru's most versatile vehicles, the Subaru Crosstrek, for as little as $189 a month, or get 0% financing. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Jacuzzi is proud to present our first ever safe bathing event. The Jacuzzi walk-in tub allows you or a loved one to take a safe and relaxing bath. Never climb in and out of a regular bathtub again. Our walk-in tub offers a low step-in threshold, fast drain technology, soothing hydrotherapy, and even a shower handle. Regain bathing independence with a Jacuzzi walk-in tub and enjoy spending more time with loved ones. Why wait any longer? During our safe bathing event, save $750 on a new walk-in tub. Receive $250 in safety upgrades and a $100 Visa gift card. But if you call right now during this program, we'll double the savings to $1,500, double the safety upgrades to $500, and double it to a $200 Visa gift card with your walk-in tub purchase. Call right now to save double on a new walk-in tub. Call now.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
You could be a great nature photographer with just the phone in your hand. I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We get tips on how to use our smartphone cameras to get great outdoor shots. It's time to plan our trips for 2018. Admiral Travel tells us what's trending in international travel. Plus, Suncoast for Sale and Goodwill brings Culver's Custard and J-Dub's Brewing together.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
We've been expecting higher prices at the pump because of Harvey, and now they are going up. Multiple refineries and drilling rigs had to be evacuated ahead of the storm, and the Houston Ship Channel was closed. It remains that way. Too early to tell when operations will be fully restored, but AAA is reporting drivers should expect higher gas prices throughout the week. Gas prices in Florida averaged $2.31 yesterday. That is 6 cents higher than this time last week.
And ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now to tell us we have a mixed Monday to start the week on Wall Street.
A mixed Monday and a quiet Monday. I think lots of people were looking at Houston rather than Wall Street, and who's to say that's incorrect. Certainly the range top to bottom for the day was very small. The Dow not so much. The S&P, a little bit of a gain. Let's take a look and see how we did. There you see the Dow down just 5 points, 0.02%. Basically went nowhere. 21,808.40 on volume of 644 million shares. For the day, the NASDAQ was up 17 points, 0.25% at 6,283.02. That on volume for the day, well, it's not there. I apologize. And then for the S&P 500, there you see the S&P 2444.24, up just over 1.51%. Uber has been without a CEO since June, but Uber has a new CEO today. The gentleman is an Iranian-American. I apologize, I can't begin to pronounce his last name, but in fact, he spent the last 12 years as the CEO of Expedia, so certainly knows a little bit about the travel business. People who did not get the job were Jeffrey Immelt, the outgoing chairman, in fact, of General Electric, and also Meg Whitman, who is the chairman of Hewlett-Packard. So some very, very good people were possible, but this gentleman got the job.
Well, Richard, we know a lot of people are going to be filing insurance claims in Texas and even here on the Suncoast with flooding concerns. How did those insurance stocks fare today?
Well, Scott, of course, different insurance companies have different exposure, but in general, most of the insurance company stocks were down somewhere between 2 and 2.5%.
All right. Richard, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Let's bring back Bob now. We have a situation where we've had several days now of rainfall, Bob, and it's not over yet.
Yeah, and it's on the minds of many Suncoast residents here. I know Harvey's taking all the headlines on the national shows, and it deserves it, obviously, a historic flooding going on there. However, here locally, people want to know what's going on with the rainfall, and as I explained earlier, the rain's going to continue this evening. We have flood warnings that remain in effect, and we'll take a look at those here in just a little bit. What's happened is that this tropical Invest 92, which have been hanging around the Suncoast for the last several days, has made a break to the northeast yesterday, but it left behind this line of low pressure, as they typically do. And this line of low pressure, just to take a look at Harvey, the same thing here again, there it is, and there's that line of low pressure that extends all the way down south in the western Gulf of Mexico. Here is our, again, number 10, tropical pressure number 10, soon to be Irma. That too has a line going all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico here. And just a lot of training of showers and storms. The atmosphere is so juiced up right now, it's creating these torrential downpours for the Suncoast. And it's not quite over yet, although there is some hope. We are looking at some drier air getting to slip in. It looks like beginning tomorrow late and continuing, I think, on Wednesday. You can still see, though, a lot of rainfall out here. In this kind of environment, showers and storms can pop up in just 20, 30 minutes and produce some locally heavy downpours exceeding 2 inches of rainfall at times. We saw that earlier in Venice, where they've had some flooding of the streets there. And all the rivers and streams are at bankful or above it. So this additional rainfall has nowhere to go, and that will cause some flooding around some of the rivers, the Peace River, the Horse Creek, as well as the Myakka River. So that is also a concern. And then this line of intense storms now making its way through St. Petersburg has been dropping a little bit further south over the last hour or so. So Manatee County, you're not out of the woods yet, although you're getting light rainfall right now. The point is the ground is just so saturated. This is, for the most part, a record amount of rainfall for the month of August. You may recall just last week we were well below average for August, and now this is going to go down as one of the wettest Augusts on record. And that's something to be said, considering we are in hurricane season during all those years, obviously. Well, this was just over the last 12 hours. You can see that Venice got hit the hardest so far today, near Venice, and that's where the warning is still going on until 6:30 for some of the areas there. Again, South Venice in that warning. Also Warm Mineral Springs all the way over to up to Nokomis and Osprey. Just some rainfall total estimates, not actual, but these are estimates over the last 12 hours. Nearly 4 inches of rain in South Venice, and in Venice itself up to 3 inches of rainfall. The forecast tonight, there it is, showers and occasional thunderstorm. We haven't had a lot of thunderstorms because the storms aren't all that tall, so to speak, and the air above into the 30 to 40,000 foot range is warm, and you have to have some pretty cold air there to start to generate that lightning. This is what's going to help us, we think, as this trough moves with this depression and tropical storm eventually. This will start to lift a little bit further off to the north. It'll happen tomorrow, and so we're looking at a little brighter forecast, I think, by Tuesday afternoon as this drier air tries to slip in, and we certainly need it here around the Suncoast. Currently, we have showers at the airport, 80 degrees. I mentioned earlier, if you haven't heard already, over 16 inches of rainfall at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport. over the past 3 days, 16 inches of rainfall. Now, you heard it correctly there. Winds out of the southwest at 17, and that's just pumping that moisture in. Now, this futurecast showing a little bit brighter conditions, too. We'll see the rainfall through this evening, and then maybe some scattered showers after 3 o'clock, but I don't think it has a good handle on what's happening, again, tomorrow morning, late morning, and into the early afternoon hours. So we'll keep that in mind. Once this trough gets out of here, we think everything's going to clear up. We got to keep an eye on this, too. Some of the remnants coming over from Harvey. There's a possibility that Harvey's a tropical storm now. It's going to stick around for the next several days. You know, back in 2001, Allison produced 40 inches of rain in Houston, and every road was flooded there. So this is probably going to exceed that. It all depends upon where those lines of storms set up right now, but not a very good situation there. Catastrophic, as you've heard. Temperatures for the highs will stay into the upper 80s to low 90s. 100% chance for rain on Tuesday, and look at Wednesday, much better, 20%. And then we'll get back to showers in the afternoon and evening. But you must remember that the ground is very saturated, so if we get a downpour, you're going to see more flooding likely here along the Sun Coast. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. In health news tonight, using methamphetamines may increase the risk of stroke among young people. That's according to the Journal of Neurology, Neurosurgery, and Psychiatry. Methamphetamine use was most strongly linked to hemorrhagic stroke, which is caused by bleeding in the brain, as opposed to an ischemic stroke that is sparked by blood clots. The strokes experienced by methamphetamine users were also often more deadly. Researchers say the rise in the use of these drugs may be behind the increase of strokes among young people in recent years. So what is the Instagram diet, and why are some people so passionate about it? Well, it isn't actually a diet in the sense that there's a specific eating plan linked to the social media platform. It's the community that it provides. Thanks to its photo-focused format, many are finding it's a great place to find and share healthy eating habits and recipes. Say you're following the paleo diet. Instagram's emphasis on hashtags makes it easy to find hundreds of other people who are on that same plan. Many users say they found a supportive community, almost like an online version of Weight Watchers. Coming up, Major League Baseball interrupted by Harvey. The Houston Astros plan to bring their games to Florida because of the storm. Plus, an act of compassion caught on camera, how an officer is going out of his way to help evacuees. Straight ahead.
The ABC7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that. And with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
So you've decided to go to college. That's cool. So pop quiz. Which is a better way to earn your degree? Commute to college and fill your gas tank, get stuck in traffic, drive in bad weather, try to find a parking space, walk a half mile to class, or learn online at Independence University. In the park on a bench, on the beach on a towel, or on your couch with your kid. Your campus is wherever you want it to be. You don't go to college. College goes to you. That's independence. That's Independence University. You schedule classes around your schedule, and all your supplies, including a brand new laptop and tablet, are included with tuition. At Independence U, you'll learn from professional instructors with real work experience. You'll get personal support in school and employment assistance when you graduate. Get your degree, but keep your life. That's independence. That's Independence University. So if you're really smart, you'd call now.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
Independence U, for an independent you.
Call 1-800-319-0237.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins.
To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking an account executive to join our winning sales team. This is an outside sales position covering the Tampa DMA. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply. ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Hurricane Harvey affecting the Houston sports scene, with the city's baseball team heading to St. Pete to play their games.
With the Rays on the road, the Houston Astros will be the home team tomorrow at Tropicana Field when the Astros host the Texas Rangers in a 3-game series. There's no decision yet on where the Astros will take on the New York Mets. That series set to begin on Friday and could also be played in St. Pete. Now, this happened to the Astros back in 2008 after Hurricane Ike, when the team played 2 home games in Milwaukee.
First responders and rescuers in South Texas are overwhelmed with constant calls for help. Many streets rivers are only accessible by boat. Rescue crews continue to try and evacuate people from flooded homes and buildings. In Fort Bend County, a group of children were loaded into a boat in the middle of this massive flooding to get to a drier area. We're seeing a lot of stories about compassion in the midst of all this catastrophic flooding, including this one. A police officer in Houston took off his shoes at a Houston shelter to donate his socks to Harvey evacuees. A nice gesture from law enforcement to help people in need. And I'm sure they need a lot more socks where that came from, for sure. They're going to need socks and clothes and...
I've seen so much video of people walking through the waters trying to get to the higher ground.
Right, and they don't know when they're going to be able to go back into a home to be able to get any of their things, if it's even there. So, still to come on your Suncoast News, from the Sunshine State to the Lone Star State.
Florida crews head to Texas with their boats to help flood victims. How the state is assisting in recovery there. That story is straight ahead.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big, or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today.
Call 800-457-2317.
Go online or visit a Target store today.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org.
A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Now's the perfect time to work with California Closets. During our Shades of White event, save up to 20% on our beautiful white finishes for any space in your home. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.